Patrick. I was at the planning and zoning meeting last night too, and I'm going to dispute Mr. Forsyth on a couple issues here. One is, we were told at that meeting that if you have more than 50 cars on a site, you have to get an EPD permit before you can move on, because you're considered an auto salvage site. And of course that wasn't done. And Mr. Seaborn had said that he had moved in 200 vehicles, so there's at least 200 vehicles out there now. And one of my questions that evening was, if this was approved, what is the limit of the number of vehicles that's going to be allowed out there? Are you going to set a limit, or are we just going to stack them on top of each other, or whatever? That was one of the questions. But my biggest concern is, will he follow the law? He waited 2 months to get his business license because he said he was bringing in cars during that time, and then after he got all the cars here, then he got the business license. But I'd always thought you got the license and then you started the business, or very close together like that. So that was concerning. There's no EPD permit, and that I'm not so sure what fluids he drains out of the vehicles. My understanding was antifreeze. I don't know what others, definitely not gasoline, but you might want to verify that with the applicant about that, because the more different kind of fluids, the more problems that you would have if they're not being drained out or anything like that. In the 5 or 6 months that he's been there, he's made no attempt to comply with the law. He's made no attempt to put a fence up. He's made no attempt to screen it off in any way at all. And if this is approved, who's going to enforce the law? Y'all have talked about EPD coming in, but let's say he doesn't put up a fence, or let's say that various other issues, or if you put some sort of conditions on it, which hopefully you would if you approved it. Who's going to enforce it? Our code enforcement doesn't enforce much as it is. It's the stuff we have on the books now. So we're going to give them one more thing to do that we're not so sure they're going to be able to do that either. And the other thing is, are they going to have a performance bond if it's approved? And that would be another issue as well. I know the state might require a bond. I don't know all the state rules. I do know about the fencing and that kind of thing. But there's a lot of questions here. And again, my biggest concern is, will he follow the law? Thank you very much.
Anybody?